So it's not very often that 7 billion people on this planet can agree on anything, but I would think most of us would agree the last 2 or 3 weeks have been crazy. Hello, friends. It's the Wellness Doctor, Dr. Jeffrey Clark from Marketplace Chiropractic Wellness Center. And this whole coronavirus, COVID-19 media frenzy, it's just insane. And, yesterday the World Health Organization declared this a pandemic. And so, things are out of control, and I'm not really sure what to think sometimes. When I was 3 years old, Kennedy was assassinated. And I guess that was a big deal, but I was 3 years old, so it was probably less of a big deal to me. We had the lunar landing when I was 8 years old. Of course, 18 and a half years ago, we had 9/11, and that was a really big deal. And a lot of these had international or global impacts to a certain extent, but most of that was things in America. And now we have this coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic, and it's gotten really kind of strange. You think 3 weeks ago, we didn't have any deaths in the United States. This was something that happened in China. And so we were a little bit foreign to it. We heard about it, and guess what? We were making jokes about beer and things like that because it wasn't touching us that close to home. And then things happened in South Korea and in Italy, especially in the last few days. We're seeing that those are just going, it's going crazy there with the rate of spread and the death rate. So we don't want that to happen here, but we can't be sure what's going to happen. And so the one thing to remember is that all these people who have died, they're somebody's mother or father or sister, brother, son, daughter. These are human beings, not statistics. And I think sometimes the media and others, they lose sight of that. I used to own a clinic in Kirkland. I had a house in Kirkland. That's about 25 miles from where we're at right now. And that's where most of the fatalities in the United States are. So that's very close to ground zero. The hospital, our local hospital, was where patient zero was. But I don't think it was patient zero. I think that this has been around probably a few months longer than they were letting on. Maybe they were seeing that this is becoming a little more rampant than they expected. And that's why we had a little bit more media frenzy. Now look at the media. The media doesn't report news. The media basically reports what they're paid to report. Why were all the media stations, advised, given the information, told that they should be continuing to report on this and create that frenzy? And I really do think the frenzy was created by the media, and it's media driven, and I don't know why that is or who's behind that. Now, certainly this is a serious event. Now we have a global pandemic. Was it just the World Health Organization predicting it, saying that would happen? But you know what? I think I know why the coronavirus has spread the way it has and why we have COVID-19 today. And it's not any of the conspiracies you may have heard. Now, there's some good ones out there, and I really enjoy a good conspiracy. It starts with, basically Donald Trump was pissed off with the Chinese, so he released a bioweapon over there, not realizing that it could actually spread other places than China. So that's one. Mike Bloomberg, running against Donald Trump for president, released a bioweapon in China to make Trump look bad so that he would win the election, and then he would release the cure and he'd become the most popular person in history. Problem is, he didn't make it through the early stages of the Democratic primaries. We have the evil scientist who released the bioweapon or the germs throughout the world and is going to now take over the world and hold the world hostage. Ha ha ha! Austin Powers type thing. Dr. Evil. That could be. Those are all possible, but not likely. Then we have one that the real conspiracy theorists might think is a little more likely is that Big Pharma already has a cure for COVID-19 and that they bioengineered this virus, created the cure, and now they're going to release it worldwide and now make trillions and trillions of dollars with the new vaccine to save everybody. That's I'm not a big fan of Big Pharma, but I don't even think they have that in them. And then my favorite conspiracy theory is that for years, secret governments have been spraying contrails above us at 40,000 feet, and these particles of dust fall on us and get into our lungs. And they're not just particles of dust, they are nanobots. And once inside of us, they are programmed with 5G. And these nanobots programmed with 5G are now controlling us, and they can make us healthy, they can make us sick. We can be getting sick, and then they turn something on, and all of a sudden we're healthy again. I think that's my favorite conspiracy theory, although I don't think it's very likely. So I'm going to tell you exactly what I believe is the cause of this. Look in the mirror. It's humans. If you think of, let's just take our selves. We have an immune system. So when we get a bacteria or a virus, our immune system works to kill that bacteria or virus. Many people have been inflicted with Covid-19, and their immune systems have killed it off. That's what they're designed to do. Now, think of planet Earth. Planet Earth has been around for billions and billions of years. And over the last 100 years or so, humans have really effed it up. We have polluted the environment. We've created global warming. There is not any purity left in any of the oceans on the earth because of the circulation of all these pollutants. The soil is polluted. The air is polluted. We've cut down the rainforest so that we can grow cows so that you can get your Big Mac. Thank you very much. And then we put that Big Mac in styrofoam to serve it to you. And so we have just corrupted the earth to such a point that the earth, Mother Nature, is now saying, we have a foreign invader that we have to kill. And it will do anything in its power to create these viruses, these superbugs. Part of what we've done is we've created so much adverse chemistry. Monsanto and Dow and all these other companies that have polluted the world. We've created super bugs, super bacteria, super viruses. We've used too much antibiotics, not necessarily on ourselves. That is true. We've taken too many antibiotics, but we put it into our livestock to allow them to be a little healthier, less sick actually, so that we can fatten them up and make more profit with more meat. We don't want sick meat, even though the meat is oftentimes diseased. But if we can get a few extra days to fatten the cattle or the chickens or the pigs, then we're going to be better off financially for those companies that have that kind of agriculture. And so we've done this to ourselves. The World Health Organization and UNICEF last month said that the world moving forward is unfit environmentally for our children. And so think of yourself and your kids and your grandkids and the future generations. What have we done to that? And I believe that the world is getting even with us, and that's why we have this. It's not a good versus evil. It's just, you're bad for us, so we're going to do what we can to eliminate things that are bad to our environment. Just like our own microbiome. We either grow healthy bacteria in our gut or we grow unhealthy bacteria in our gut. They can have a war, and it depends on what we feed them. Or what have we fed the planet? And if you think about what we need to do, we just need to stop polluting it and start cleaning it up as best as possible. We had in some of the Great Lakes fishes that were coming out born with 3 eyes, and they weren't able to procreate, and frogs and tadpoles that were all confused and had different gender sexes on both of them, hermaphrodite frogs, things like that. And what we did is we stopped polluting it, and it eventually cleaned itself up within a few decades. If you have a goldfish and you have a sick goldfish, are you going to give your goldfish more medicine, or are you going to clean up the environment, clean the water, put the goldfish in clean water? That's what you do to make a healthy fish, is you create a healthier environment, clean the goldfish bowl. Well, we need to clean our goldfish bowl. And if we don't start doing it now, it's going to be too late for all of us. So yes, take this very, very seriously. Don't panic, because that's not going to do anyone any good. I mean, there's no reason that everyone on the face of the earth needs to try to hoard toilet paper. I mean, that is somewhat ridiculous, but this is the way we need to start moving forward. Take considerations of what you're doing to your planet, to your environment. It's not about the tree huggers versus the non-tree huggers, anything like that. It's about people who care about the future of their offspring, their children, their grandchildren, and what the earth needs to do, what we need to do for the earth to clean all this up. Because guess what? If we don't, we're going to have one superbug after the other until there's none of us left. So on that note, please, please, please do what you can. Love one another. Love your family. Tell someone you love them, because I think that's what we need right now. Is not scare tactics, but more, just spread more love. I love you guys. Talk to you soon.